Hello, hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning. It depends, which part of the country, the world that you're watching us from. This is Coach Jeanine, and I'm so glad today that you're joining us from Empowering You TV. I have an amazing guest that I was really looking forward for today because since I've met him, every single day is just amazing. He's definitely a community leader. He have many, many hats. So I can't wait you guys to talk to you about him and introduce you to Mr. Matthew. So, bonsoir tout le monde. Je suis vraiment contente aujourd'hui d'être là. Aujourd'hui, je suis avec Monsieur Mathieu. On est en train de parler. Donc, on sera vraiment dans la joie aujourd'hui en train de parler avec lui parce que c'est un leader que j'aimerais vraiment que vous puissiez aussi connaître. So, restez connectés avec Empowering Good TV. Merci beaucoup. Like I was saying, so today was really amazing. And I can just remember the way I listened to his first video, and that was the connection. You know, like when you really came across somebody that you feel like you definitely enjoying the engagement, the conversation. So that's really who I'm bringing you today, guys. So invite your friend, invite everybody, take your pen because, like you always know, here at With You Solution, we bring you strategy and tools how you can be able to be a better leader every day. Okay, so I'm gonna open up again this conversation with Mr. Matthew and talk to him, engage in this conversation about leadership, about community, how we can be able to support you guys on your journey through the leadership. Welcome, Mr. Matthew. How are you tonight?
Very good, and I'm glad to be with you and your audience, Jeanine. And bonjour to your audience.
Yes,
It's good to be with you.
absolutely. It's a pleasure. So, do you remember when you first started in your journey to leadership and start really communicating with the audience and making sure that you doing what you called to do? Because that's one of the things that I heard through another podcast that where I met you. You were talking about your journey, how it was really very important to you to be able to give back. So can you tell us just a little bit about that?
Sure. So, my professional journey has always had a theme of gratitude. And gratitude is, in my opinion, the critical and essential emotion in success. Just remember this, Janine, and to your audience. When you say thank you for anything, you're in the position of receiving.
Yes.
Thank you, by definition, means you have received, right? So I believe that gratitude releases prosperity. Prosperity accumulated increases wealth, and wealth created gives one the ability to leave a legacy. And so everything begins with gratitude. One of my practices, and this is outside of my professional life, when you wake up each day, it's a position of gratitude. Number one, you woke up, right?
Yes.
That's the first thank you. Your eyes work, your lungs work, your heart is beating. You have an opportunity to be a blessing to people for another day. So gratitude has been the primary energy from the beginning, and will continue to be.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. I wanted to, so my first word to you, because we have few words for you. My first word to you is when you hear the word servant leader, what comes to your mind?
Right. So again, servant leader is a person. The word that comes to my mind is the word love, because Martin Luther King Jr., Mohandas K. Gandhi, and the person that the Christian Bible refers to as Jesus the Christ all said the same thing. You do not have a degree or advanced studies to serve or to love. This you can do no matter how high or how low your educational level.
Mhm.
So, you know, let's take a look at Mother Teresa of Calcutta. Mother Teresa of Calcutta, a simple nun, went into the streets of Calcutta and treated the people with the worst illnesses and sicknesses. She had no degrees to do it. She was not a physician. People warned her that she might get ill herself, she might get contaminated herself. We remember her as a great servant leader because she loved other people enough to risk her own health uh,
Yes,
to be a blessing to them. So when
absolutely.
servant leader, I think love,
Ah,
unconditional love.
unconditional love, guys. I hope you're taking note. Hello, Dr. Tanya. Thank you for joining us. Again, today I am with Mr. Matthew, and I'm definitely delighted to have because I know he's a very busy man, but we were so grateful that he definitely blessed us with his presence tonight. So I'm very glad that you're joining us and continue to invite others too. Thank you, Laurette, for joining us. Merci beaucoup. Our second word for you is mentorship. When you hear the word mentorship, what comes in mind?
When I hear the word mentorship, I think about the concept of paying it forward. All of us have those in our lives who pay it forward for us. I have had many in my life. I recently completed a book, shameless plug, Who Influenced You. The book has moved from its launch 2 weeks ago to number 618 as of tonight. So help us to go
Yes.
518 more positions so we could be in the top 100 and be a bestseller on Amazon.
Yes.
It's called Who Influence You. And I got the pleasure of doing this book with my mentor, Dr. George C. Fraser,
Mhm.
who's traveling somewhere. Travel safe, Doc. And this man has written 5 bestsellers. He has been a friend and a mentor for a long time. In fact, he's the person who challenged me to start the Matthews Business Network 7 years ago at the 20th celebration of the Million Man March. We were at the State of the Black World Conference, and he said, I was involved in a couple of other networks and I was in leadership. And he said, you know what would be really cool? Create a network for Black CEOs on a global basis. Um, that would be really cool for us to bring together the highest levels of leadership in our community, um, and have them kind of create a mastermind where they can work together, achieve some goals that would be beneficial to our whole community. So we did that, and 7 years later, we're 2,270 uh, Black and Brown CEOs and senior executives on our way.
Yes.
Um, and we are so grateful that Jeanine is one of them, and we thank you for your contributions.
Oh, I'm so grateful. To me, I just want to give you a small testimony because I think this is very important and for us when we're going to talk at this at the end so people can join us because my first experience with everybody, from the community, from NBN, I felt like it was really a family. I was joining. He's like, I've known them for many years. So it's like, this is how I felt when I met you. This is how I felt when I saw everybody in the community, like really engaging. And it was just not a regular Zoom. It was really like I was joining the family. So I'm so grateful, guys. I want to talk to you more about that, how you can be able to join us as well. You The third word for you is global impact. What do you hear about global impact?
Yes, so global impact is a very easy one in my mind. Um, you know, we are now interconnected. Um, Example: you are from the Republic of the Congo. Because of this technology, your friends, family, colleagues can watch us right now.
Mhm.
There was a time where dispersal meaning we're all over the world, meant disconnected. Now, dispersal doesn't mean disconnected. It means we're very much connected. We have in MBN 10 regions. Just this past Saturday, I was with the Eurasia region. We have people in London and Paris. We have people in Germany, members in Germany. We have members in on the African continent. We have members in the Caribbean. And we got together for the Eurasia meeting this past Saturday morning. Just as easily it is as it is for me to communicate with you, I can communicate with our members in Germany, our members in the UK, our members in France, just as easily. This technology means that we are all connected. So, in terms of global impact, we operate as a global professional network now. Just as an example, our social media director is in Romania. In fact, I have to tell her to be very careful because she's, one country away from what's going on in Ukraine. So you know, um, um, the digital world means that you can leverage your gifts on a global basis now. And by the way, let me just say this to our community. Being digitally proficient, guys, is no longer an option, it's a necessity.
Yes.
The COVID virus has taught us that if you are not digitally proficient, you may not be able to earn income in the low contact, no contact, safety conscious economy we are now in on a global basis. The person who you do business with now may not want to come into physical contact with you for fear if they have underlying condition for health concerns. And you have to respect that. So digital proficiency is no longer an option, it's a necessity.
Absolutely. Now, I think this next word it's very important to you and I, and which that's how I think it's. I was really thinking about this word. I think this is going to be so natural to him to respond. The word community.
Absolutely. The word community is a combination of two words. The word come or cone comes from the root word with. And the second word is unity. We all know what that means. Community, by definition, means with unity, with union, right? We more than ever must be unified in our goals, in our objectives. We do not have to have uniformity in our thinking. Jeanine, you probably think about things in a different way than I do. We don't have to have uniformity, but we do have to have organizational discipline and unity. We have to come together around certain concepts and principles. Let me give you an example of this. Last year in the United States of America, African Americans spent 1.6 trillion dollars in the economy. Our brown Spanish speaking brothers and sisters in the Hispanic community, they spent 1.7 trillion dollars in the economy. So between the two of us, that's 3.4 trillion. On a global basis, people of African descent and people in the Hispanic speaking community spent about $10.5 trillion. Now, here's why unity is important. We only spent 2% of that with each other. So we often say that one of the greatest challenges to our economic empowerment and enrichment is racism. Oh, the white man, the white woman, somebody somewhere is holding me back. Well, let me give a thought to that. And some may like it and some may not. But liars, Jeanine, may figure, but figures do not lie. Liars may figure, but figures do not lie. The University of Georgia does a study every year of purchasing power. According to the University of Georgia, Caucasian Americans spent 18%, 18% of their purchasing power with minority owned companies. 18%. Black and brown companies spent 2% of their purchasing power with each other. So who is the racist? Here are people who are supposed to be racist spending 18% of their money with you. You're only spending 2% of your money with yourself. So who is really holding you back? Now, that's a tough question, and I don't mind asking it because we have to be able to be honest enough to challenge ourselves to do better. In the name of unity, we have to do better. So what is MBN calling for? We're calling for the 80-20 rule. Spend 20% with a provider in your community, and you still have 80% that you could spend with Walmart and Target and everybody else.
Absolutely. And guys, I hope you're taking note because I told you who I'm bringing tonight. We are dropping this nugget because we want you to really pay attention and to really joining us. We're gonna give you all the information at the end so you can be able to come and join us because this is really a movement. We don't want to keep this for ourselves, you know. It's really a sense of community. So that's why I'm so glad that Mr. Matthew was really available tonight to be able to come, and we're going to talk about the book as well. Our last word for you tonight, Dr. Matthew, is financial freedom, which is just what he was talking about, but just you can elaborate more.
All right. So financial freedom, um, everyone has what's called a financial independence number, Jeanine. And what is a financial independence number? A financial independence number is that amount of income that you need saved in one place where you can literally live the quality of life that you want to live without touching the principal, only on the interest. Let me give you an example. If Jeanine, guys, had saved $1.5 million somewhere right now, and she was able to put it into annuity or some other instrument that would pay her 10%, for the rest of her life, she would be able to spend about $150,000 a year without touching the principal. Let me give you another example. Princeton University has an endowment of about $2 billion. 10% of $2 billion is about 200 million. So on an annual basis, just on interest alone, Princeton can give scholarships, can create programs. So for someone to be financially independent, they have to know what level of income they need for the quality of life and to be able to fund that quality of life without working. They've got to have resources in a place where the interest on the resources alone was sufficient to fund the quality of life you want, right? So if the quality of life you want only requires $3,000 a month or $36,000 a year, you have to find a way to set aside sufficient income where $3,000 a month is going to come to you no matter what. Now, final thing I'm going to say on this. Financial independence comes when you make the shift of working for your money and your money begins to work for you.
Yes.
That means when you are sleeping, that money still works. You've got to find a way to make that happen. And there are many ways to do that. We could talk about that at another time. But,
Oh yeah,
uh,
absolutely, Dr. Matt. Yes, and that's why I'm saying that to me, this is very important, especially right now. People are really trying to find ways how to stay more creative as an entrepreneur. So that's why I was like, to me, I always make sure that I'm bringing in the right person so they can be able to give people tools and strategies so they can be able to definitely join us. Because like I said, the first time I heard, Mr. Matthew on the video, I was like, I need to listen to him more and even connect, because he really fits my goal, which is really bridging the gap between us. Because many people, they always wanted to, find a way how they can be able to bring the business global. And I am on this side. I was like, I'm definitely the bridge. I can be able to continue to do that and continue to empower my people, our community, with resources and information. So when I came my first meeting with, an ambient community, I already felt that this is what we're supposed to be doing. Everybody's supposed to be doing. Everybody's supposed to be here. So I was so glad, and I asked him if he can be able to join us. Again, going back to that journey, my first question to you, Mr. Matthew, do you always knew that you are called to do what you do now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, can you expand on that?
Right. So I'm grateful. And in the book, Who Influenced You, there are three. We asked each one of 21 authors who are the three people we are grateful for. The three people that I'm grateful for is my maternal grandmother, Beatrice Andrews, my mother's mom, my paternal grandmother, Lillian Matthews, my father's mom, and my own personal superhero, my mom, Maylene Andrews. Why am I saying this on the issue of what you're supposed to be doing? My mother's mother, Beatrice Andrews, was an passionate lover of history.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me at a very young age that our ancestors living in the Nile Valley would greet each other more than 7,000 years ago with the following words: May you live three golden periods that we call generations, right? Of 40 years, that be a life of 120 years, right? Now, they said the next thing, that a life well lived is 40 years, Jeanine, to know your purpose. 40 years to live your purpose. And 40 years to teach your purpose. Now, to directly answer your question, how did I know that building a community of like-minded entrepreneurs and people to work together to build prosperity and generational wealth was my calling? This woman told me on my visit to my home country. I was born in Guyana, South America, 58 years ago. I asked her, I said, Grandma B, who was I when I was 3 years old? My parents had left the country and they left me in her care. She said, ages 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everywhere you went, other children gravitated towards you. Everything you said, other children listened to you. You didn't learn this in a book, so I couldn't say we taught you this. You have always been a person that other people followed. If you want to know who you are, if you want to know what your divine assignment is on this earth, go and speak to someone who loves you unconditionally when you were very young. It revealed itself then. Now I'm going to give you a biblical context for this. In the book of Jeremiah, the following words are written. God speaking, I knew you before you were in your mother's womb, and I
That's
have
right.
plans for you to prosper you, to give you future and a hope for the future. Well, what was God saying? I knew you before you were in your mother's womb. That means that before you were on earth, you were in heaven, and God had something for you to do here. And that something revealed itself at an early age, long before you ever went into a classroom. So if you want to really know what your purpose here on this earth is, ask people who are older than you in your family, what were your gifts when you were 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7? Psychologists tell all of us that your personality is formed between ages 3 and 7. What are they really
Right.
saying? Your gifts are revealed then. And so for whatever reason, I was who I am today when I was 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. My grandmother said to me, Jeanine, one day she came to the school to pick me up, and she asked the teacher where I was. And the teacher said, shh, look out of that window. And my grandmother said she looked out of the window, and I was in the center of a group of kids reading a newspaper cartoon of Andy Capp. And you got to be from the British Islands to know who Andy Capp is, the guy that wore this big hat. And I was reading to a group of friends, and she told my grandmother, don't disturb, just watch what he's doing. And that's who I am now.
My goodness, this is amazing. And that's why I'm very glad that Mr. Matthew, I came across your path. God really, really connect us because it was really and that's why I'm always obedient, always listening to who I can be able to connect because to me, my purpose really, it's really to continue to bring people on this platform so they can be able to empower us with tools and strategy because we cannot be just oh yeah, I think we can be able to figure things out. No, you need to follow people who are doing it, who are very successful, and so they can be able to follow and show you the steps. And one of the things so I will share with the community
Well,
is
what
your
you
vision. Mhm.
what you just said is that you're a connector.
I am, and that's why people call me the queen of connect. I was like, well, I think I would take that. But the reason why also it was really easy to me to join the community, the NBN, which we're gonna talk about that in a second, is the vision that it just umoja because unity to me this word speak volume to me because I grew up in a household where I really saw unity. I really saw natural leaders around me, so that was really in me. It was already embedded in me, and that's why people always asking me how you always connect with people because to me it's so natural. That's what I've been called to do. So when I connect with Mr. Matthew, that was instantly the one thing that he shared with me. Said, Jeanine, that's what we need to do. It's our responsibility because I always feel that I have to bridge the gap between people, business owners and entrepreneurs who are here and with the motherland. So it's really one of my responsibility. So when I just came in contact with Mr. Matthew, was just like, oh my God, I found my family in America. That was amazing. So please, Mr. Matthew, can you tell our audience? I know Dr. Tanya already said, what is your number? She wants to connect with you already. So I'm glad. Guys, at the end, Mr. Matthew, he's going to give all his contacts, social media, how you can be able to enjoy and involve, also get involved in the community because we are all about building each other and really working together. So feel free, Mr. Matthew.
Well, Matthews Business Network is a global professional network
Mm-hmm.
which enables its members um,
Yes.
to connect, to make the connection, to enjoy world class coaching and advice, to collaborate with each other, not to compete, and then to collectively be enriched by participating in the growth of their business, investing in real estate, investing in franchises, investing in the sharing and selling of excellent content about us from us.
Yes.
If we've got to do anything right now, folks, we have got to 10x our reading. The Bible says we are transformed by the renewing of our mind. For my brothers and sisters who invest in real estate, the most priceless real estate in the world is the 3 inches from ear to ear. Invest in that. You need to invest in that. Every single month, simultaneously, Jeanine, here on my desk, I read 5 books at a time. The first book is The Network Sage by Dr. Glenna Crooks, a World Bank official. The second book is by Dr. Herbert Harris, The 12 Laws of Universal Success. The third book is Solving the Race Issue in the United States of America. I don't know if that could be solved, by the way. Egyptian Sacred Science. Long before there was a Christianity, a Judaism, or an Islam, there was the Nile Valley civilization's version of spirituality. They didn't have religion, they had spirituality. And among the things that most people don't know that come from the motherland, come from us, 7,000 years ago, around Lake Tana in Ethiopia, were found the following words on a cave wall. We are from the mountains of the moon, living here in this Nile Valley, where the God Happy, Hapi, dwelleth. You know why you feel so good about the word happy? Because 7,000 years ago, our people had a name for God, Happy, Hapi. Long before God's name was Yahweh or Jehovah or Adonai or Allah, God's name was Happy. And guess who brought that word into existence? You. You know, sometimes we are like children. We allow people to sell things back to us that we created in the first place. The last book I want to bring to people's attention is this book. It's called The Secret Origin of the Bible's Royal Bloodline. I highly recommend this because we have been led to believe that the patriarchs of the Bible, David, Solomon, Moses, are people that look like Charlton Heston. Well, Dr. Ahmed Osman, who's become a friend of mine, has spent 50 years identifying these people in the historical record. And all 3 of the names I just mentioned not only were Black men, they were Egyptian pharaohs, who the people who wrote the Bible in about 575 BC personified as Asiatics, but were never Asiatics. They were people from the Nile Valley. And I don't argue their Blackness. I argue their non-Europeanness. There is no way anyone born in the northern Syria to the southernmost part of Africa, there is no way that David, Abraham, Moses, or even Jesus the Christ could be defined as a European. There is no possibility. At the time these people walked the earth, Europe as an organized political and economic entity didn't even exist. So I don't argue their Blackness. I argue their non-Europeanness.
Oh,
There's
so
no way.
there's no way, yeah. So, Mr. Matthew, can you also talk to us about the book? So, where people can be able to get that, and
Sure,
how they can be able to, yeah, they can be able to get involved with NBN community.
sure. So I'm gonna, and I was hoping not to do this, but you've asked, so I've got to
Please, please do.
request. So let me just give me a moment. I'm gonna get a
Sure.
copy. Sure.
Absolutely. So, while Dr. Matthew is picking up the book, guys, I'm hoping you are really listening. You've been taking some note because this is only the beginning. Mr. Matthew will be coming back ongoing because he has many, many, many things to share with us. So we will be talking really about, ongoing, like a really time, like ongoing monthly, where he really agreed for us to be able to come for a few minutes, come and really giving us the information we need, because we need all to come together and be able to work with one another. That's one thing about entrepreneurship, that I want to be part of that community. I hope you're going to join me with Mr. Matthew, so together we can be able to spend the dollar among ourselves and really helping our own project, funding our own project. I came across every single day people coming to me, Jeanine, you are the connector. I'm looking for funding and this. And I usually laugh and I say, I really want us to think about how we can fund our own. And this is the way. So I hope you're gonna join me in the NBN community, and also purchase the book, please, because it's very important. I just started reading mine, and we're gonna have more discussion with Dr. Matthew ongoing all this summer. So stay tuned for that.
So this is who influenced you. This book
Yes.
was written by Dr. George C. Fraser, who, as I said, is my mentor. He and I decided that gratitude to us was the most powerful energy in the universe. Gratitude. The book is colored purple because purple is the color of royalty. If you read in the
Mhm.
Bible, Moses asked that the Levites, the priests, wear purple with a gold sash. Right? Now, on the back are the 20 authors who co wrote this book. Each one of these great people is an MBN member, and each one of them wrote about three individuals who they were grateful to for their life. There is, Jeanine, no successful person on this earth that did not have help and assistance to get there.
Mhm.
Ask Oprah Winfrey, ask Michael Jordan, ask any leader of any country, right? No successful person exists that did not have to say thank you to many people. There isn't a person who enjoys success at any level that must not understand and employ the concept of gratitude.
That's right.
That is why we wrote Influence You, focused on gratitude. Gratitude is the prerequisite for prosperity and success. When you say thank you, you release an energy field that engages and attracts people and allows people to get more connected with you, more involved, so you can do more.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Matthew. Guys, this is only the beginning. So we're gonna have again Dr. Matthew next month. He's gonna bless us again with his, few minutes where he can come in, and we're gonna discuss, because I'm in a process of finishing up the book. I really wanna ask to dig deep because there's so much to talk about. So j'aimerais vraiment que si vous pouvez être en contact avec Monsieur Mathieu, parce qu'il a beaucoup de choses à partager avec nous. Je suis tellement dans la joie parce qu'il va revenir chaque mois pour nous parler comment est-ce que nous pouvons déjà commencer à travailler ensemble et venir ensemble comme une seule personne, comme une communauté, parce que quand nous travaillons séparés, on n'aura pas cet impact-là qu'on veut avoir. Mais plus quand on est ensemble, c'est pour ça que j'aime beaucoup le mot unité ou bien le nom umoja, parce que pour moi, c'est ça, ça symbolise l'unité. Et lorsque tu es en train de travailler ensemble avec tes frères et tes sœurs, c'est là où nous allons voir des résultats. Surtout qu'en tant qu'entrepreneur, en tant que leader, c'est tellement important de le faire. So, merci beaucoup de se connecter ce soir et please, et aussi acheter le livre de Monsieur Matthews, il pourra donner tous ces liens. Comme ça, nous pourrons aussi acheter et le soutenir aussi dans son business. So, guys, I was just, telling our viewers that we will be doing this ongoing, the 30 minutes ongoing, so we can be able to dig deep in the book. But I'm also hoping that many of them, they can be able to join us in NBN. Guys, don't think that, you're going to get just in those 30 minutes, you're going to get everything you need. You need to join us and start really committing yourself to impact yourself first, which is knowledge, getting knowledge. You just saw how Mr. Matthew, he's reading like more than 5 books a month. So it's really commitment. It's not so much about just you doing one thing and then you stop and then no, it's really about staying committed, staying investing in yourself so you can get the knowledge you need. Thank you again, Mr. Matthew. Remind us again all your social media so people can be able to join us and join you as well.
Sure. The website is www.m as in Mary, B as in boy, N as in Nancy, the word connect, mbnconnect.com. That is our URL. You can call me directly at 732 357 5701. 732 357 5701. I'm so grateful to my sister Jeanine for sharing her audience with me, sharing her family with me. Guys, we are all one family. 221,000 years ago in the Nile Valley, a woman who looked very much like Jeanine, a light brown woman with curly hair, had a child. That child became all 7 billion people on this planet. She is the Eve of the world. She is the first Homo sapiens sapien, a human being who walked upright, thought, and spoke. I'm saying this because we are her children. And to make our great, 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 great grandmother proud, we must give this world its next civilization, a world in which racism, chauvinism, greed, domination are swept aside, and equity, diversity, fairness rule. In MBN, we love and respect you as part of our family, no matter what you look like, no matter who you love, and no matter what you call God. That is your business. We contend that the prayer that the man the world knew as Yeshua ben Joseph, the son of Joseph, Jesus, told Peter and his disciples when they asked him, Lord, teach us to pray. The root part of that prayer is, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on this earth as it is in heaven. Our job, yours and mine, are to build and bind kingdom here. Our job is to build and bind kingdom here. If you do nothing else, remember that. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on this earth. We do not have to wait until we go to heaven.
Yes,
We can build heaven here now.
that's right.
And that is what we are here to do. So, to all of Jeanine's friends, fans, and audience, I love you. Au revoir.
We love you too, Dr. Machi. And we're gonna be coming back next month, but we will give you some times where you can be able to prepare. And just don't come yourself. Don't come by yourself. And we would like you to please. I'm gonna after this live, I'm gonna put the link where you can connect with Dr. Matthews and making sure that he can be able to equip you with knowledge, and also you can join us our NBA community. Make sure just you mention maybe that you watch this, so he can be able to remember how we connect, so we can be able to welcome you, because there's a lot of space, there's a room for all of us to come together. So thank you again, Dr. Mathis, and I'm looking forward to talk with you. Merci beaucoup de se connecter ce soir, et nous allons encore se rencontrer le dimanche prochain, mais restez tuned surtout pour le bouquin que lui il a écrit, que nous allons commencer maintenant à partager, parce que il a écrit beaucoup de choses, surtout à propos de leader. Beaucoup de gens pensent que être leader, c'est avoir le titre, tu dois finir les cours, tu dois avoir des degrees. Ce n'est même pas ça. C'est avoir un cœur de servir. Et si tu as un cœur de servir, j'aimerais t'inviter surtout à toujours revenir ici pour écouter, pour partager, pour échanger avec nous. Et si vous avez des questions, si vous pouvez toujours poser. So, merci beaucoup. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us, and we'll see you guys next Sunday.
Goodbye. God bless. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to share a special connection
Yes.
with Jeanine on LinkedIn. It will
Yes.
have hashtag MBN team. It will have an invitation to tomorrow night's meeting at
Yes.
7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please be there. We look forward to having you, and we welcome you with our hearts, our spirit, and our mind. We are one family. God created one race, the human race. We are
Absolutely.
children, and we should be united in purpose and united in prosperity. I'm so grateful. We started on gratitude. We're going to leave that way. I'm so grateful to you, Jeanine. Keep up the great work. You are building kingdom here with Coach Jeanine. You could not be at a better place. There are some people in this world who are committed to stuff, and there are some people who are committed to substance and committed to success. Jeanine is one of those committed to substance and success. So hang around her.
Thank you so much. And join us in NBN community, because you're going to have more fun with us. Absolutely. So I will see you guys later. Thank you, everybody. And share this video with everybody, so they can be able to listen to us. And even yourself, you can be able to listen over and over, so you can really understand those tools and strategy that we brought you tonight.
Good night. God
Thank
bless.
you, everybody. Au revoir.
Au revoir.